And you know what? I'm gonna have to say something about Lasher real quick. All right, guys, check this out, right? I'm laughing because I'm remembering the scenes and the way that this nigga just pops up on bitches. Like they're walking down the hall. He's right there chilling, just chilling in the back, leaning on the wall, like, I'm right here, bitch. Right? They walk down this way. I'm here, bitch. Oh no, it's me, bitch. I'm right here, bitch. It's me, bitch. I'm right here, bitch. Me, bitch. Oh, that's your reflection? That's your reflection? Oh no, it's my reflection. It's me, bitch. It's my reflection, bitch. Yo, this dude Lasher just be popping up on bitches, bro. I'm sorry for the B word, but it's the best way that I can like illustrate how I feel about this dude. Like this dude is a creep. And the craziest thing about it is all the women still fuck him. Yo, like he just won't leave this family alone.
In a dark lake edit, let's go! Let's go, let's go.
What's good? How's everyone doing today? I'm so happy to see everybody again. I've been gone for a minute, but it's just because life been life, and your brother been doing everything every day. You feel me? When I say life be life, and you already know what I'm talking about. But I'm back and I'm still here. So you know what? Without further ado, I don't even really want to say, welcome back to ... because y'all already know, y'all already in a Dark Lake edit, right? So you know what? Let's just trash all that and let's get straight into it. Let's go. All right, listen. If you've been following Anne Rice's Immortal Universe with me, before Mayfair Witches gets to season 3, I wanted to go and actually watch the first 3 episodes. So that's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to do an extensive breakdown of episodes 1 through 3 of Mayfair Witches. And I got to admit, after watching the first 3 episodes for the first time, it totally gave me a different perspective of what I had heard about the show when it first aired. And like I said before, I regret not watching this, right? Because what I noticed is that there are clues hiding everywhere, about Rowan, Lasher, the Talamasca, and the Mayfair family itself. So I really want to dive into this. Like the first episode was titled The Witching Hour. In the series, it immediately introduces us to Dr. Rowan Fielding, one of the most fascinating protagonists, in my opinion, in the Anne Rice universe, especially when it comes to horror characters, right, with great power. She's brilliant and logical. She's a neurosurgeon. Everything about her life is grounded in science, I noticed. But what's interesting is that beneath that scientific exterior, there's something ancient slowly waking up. And I love that aspect about the show. One thing I really liked about the first episode is how Rowan doesn't feel like a traditional horror protagonist at all. She isn't actually looking for magic. The magic actually finds her. That's what I noticed. Or is trying to find her. Wink, wink, right? Almost immediately, we learn something is terribly wrong. Whenever Rowan experiences intense emotion, people just fall out and die. Like they just fall out. And it becomes a pattern that she notices, right? And this is not metaphorical, this is literal. Without touching them, without even understanding how, having no inclination of anything, right? It's frightening because Rowan herself doesn't know whether she's helping people, whether they're falling out because of her. All she knows is that she feels an intense emotion before they fall. That uncertainty becomes the emotional center of these first 3 episodes, I noticed. Meanwhile, the show then cuts to New Orleans. Here, we're introduced to another incredibly important woman, Deirdre Mayfair. She's essentially a prisoner inside the Mayfair house. She's watched constantly. She's controlled, drugged, isolated from everything. And at first, you wonder, why? Why do they have her trapped in this house where she, can't make any movements or do anything? It seems like a whole conspiracy around her mother. Why is this woman locked away? Why is everyone so terrified of her, or at least they act like it? The answer isn't actually Deirdre, it's who follows her. Because then we meet him. His name is Lasher. Lasher might be one of Anne Rice's most mysterious creations. He's charming, and to a lot of women, he's seductive, but he's also very patient. But there's always something a little off about this dude. He's not simply haunting the Mayfairs. He's manipulating generations of them. Even in episode 1, right? You get the feeling Lasher isn't evil in the traditional sense. He's playing an incredibly long game. One that's been unfolding for centuries. It's almost kind of like a Dark Sidious type shit. You feel me? The episode also introduces us to another major player, Cyprian Grieve, or Cip. He's connected to the Talamasca, the secret organization that observes supernatural beings throughout Anne Rice's universe. If you watch Interview with the Vampire, this is one of the biggest connections between both shows, between both worlds. The Talamasca is quietly watching everything. They're never as powerful as they appear, but they always know more than everyone else, it seems. Character thoughts, emotions, motivations. And at this point, Rowan represents science. Lasher represents temptation. The Mayfair family represents inherited power. And Cip represents hidden knowledge. Already, the show, to me, had established 4 completely different worldviews that are about to collide. Episode 2, The Dark Place. Episode 2 slows things down a bit, but in a good way. Instead of throwing more monsters at us, the show explores Rowan's psychology a bit. She's grieving. She's even questioning her sanity, questioning reality. The audience, it seems, they want the audience to wonder. Is Rowan mentally breaking down? Or is she finally seeing the world how it truly is? One thing I noticed watching this for the first time, Alexandra Daddario plays Rowan almost like someone experiencing an awakening. It's not like she's becoming stronger. It's more like she's becoming aware. And that's a big difference. You see, every answer in the show, I've noticed, creates 2 new questions. And meanwhile, Lasher begins pulling Rowan toward New Orleans, not by force, but by curiosity. Lasher understands something that manipulative people often understands what makes them super dangerous, in my opinion. You don't control someone by pushing. You control them by making them believe the decision was theirs. That's exactly what he's doing with Rowan. We also continue learning more about the Mayfair family. And honestly, this family is dysfunctional as fuck. I mean, on a supernatural level, with all their secrets, power struggles, and manipulation. Everyone seems to know a part of the truth, but no one seems to know all of it. And the scariest part about this is maybe they're intentionally hiding it. Okay, so now at this point, I move on to episode 3, guys, and I'm kind of hooked and I'm confused at this point because I'm thinking, I heard a whole bunch of bad reviews, okay? Whole bunch of people talking about how the show sucked, but the show doesn't suck to me yet. I mean, it's been 2 episodes and I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of liking it. It's like, okay, I'm getting like Interview with the Vampire vibes in the first 2 seasons. The lighting and cinematography and the story is like, wow. So I led on into episode 3 very optimistically, right? And this episode is titled The Second Line. Episode 3 really feels like the series finding its identity. After Deirdre's shocking death, elevator scene, cause shit, yo, elevator scene.
It's you.
And I was like, damn, you just like, what is this show? This was her first time meeting her mother, guys. And they just had her decapitated right in front of her, bro. Like, whoa, bro. Like I said before, yeah. Elevator scene, yeah, right. Rowan finally arrives in New Orleans, and immediately she is surrounded by lies. Nobody gives her straight answers. Everyone claims they're protecting her, which usually means they're protecting themselves and don't even care about the relationship she has with her mother, Deirdre. This episode also expands Sip's role considerably. He's trying to protect Rowan, but unlike the Mayfairs, he isn't trying to control her. At least that's what it appears to be. The Telemasca often walks a fine line between guardianship and manipulator.
I was gathering information about you, your life, your routine, so I could protect you. The Telemasca exists to document and investigate the unexplained. And when we see that someone could be at risk, we offer protection.
Lasher also changes earlier. He seemed more mysterious, but now he becomes more personal. He's no longer just haunting the story. He's actively pursuing Rowan, almost courting her. And there is actual chemistry. But underneath the chemistry is a series of manipulation tactics that makes every interaction uncomfortable because we still don't know what Lasher actually wants. Rowan, by the end of episode 3, Rowan has changed completely. She started as a doctor trying to save lives. Now she's questioning her identity, her family, her past, and even reality itself, right? She's surrounded by so many different lies. She's crossing the threshold into a world she never believed existed. And that, to me, is true classic Gothic storytelling. What I want to do now is a character breakdown, because Rowan is actually my favorite character so far. Not because she's the most powerful or even the protagonist of the show or even like crazy beautiful, right? But because she's constantly in a controversy between science and magic. You know, she doesn't want magic, she wants answers. That's fascinating to me, right? Lasher, Jack Huston gives Lasher an almost hypnotic quality. And you know what? I'm gonna have to say something about Lasher real quick. All right, guys, check this out, right? I'm laughing because I'm remembering the scenes. And the way that this nigga just pops up on bitches, like they're walking down the hall, he's right there chilling, just chilling in the back, leaning on the wall, like, I'm right here, bitch. Right? They walk down this way, I'm here, bitch. Oh no, it's me, bitch. I'm right here, bitch. It's me, bitch. I'm right here, bitch. Me, bitch. Oh, that's your reflection? That's your reflection? Oh no, it's my reflection. It's me, bitch. It's my reflection, bitch. Yo, this dude Lasher just be popping up on bitches. I'm sorry for the B word, but it's the best way that I can like illustrate how I feel about this dude. Like, this dude is a creep. And the craziest thing about it is all the women still fuck him. Yo, right? He just won't leave this family alone. He has fucked the great grandmother, the great grandmother, the grandmother, the daughter. Oh man, this dude has been fucking women in the same family for generations. Oh god, we need to take notes on this dude. Like, what is he doing?
Yes. I like what you've done here.
Notes on this dude. Like, what is he doing?
Notebook. 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 Notebook.
Notebook.
Notebook. Notebook. Right.
Like, oh man. Oh shit. It's like a supernatural player. Like this dude, like, you know how that song's like, I got hoes. I got hoes in different area codes. Area codes. I got hoes. He got holes in different timelines, bitch. Like, he ain't playing around. He's like, I got the grandmother, the great grandmother, the new one, the 2026 one. Like, I'm like, yo.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
But then every time he just posts up with a nice, brilliant, beautiful suit, he just like, I'm right here, bitch. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, that was just tripping me out. And I just would like to add, I don't think any of the women in this show are bitches. I think that I'm just using the word.
Whoa,
just to, you know,
whoa.
Just to express my animated feelings about this character. Okay, but let me get back to the review. And I'm so sorry. I hope no one is offended by this, but that's how I truly feel about this character. But Lasher, you know, he rarely is violent, right? Instead, he persuades. Everything about Lasher feels calculated. He doesn't even chase power, right? He waits for people to hand it to him. Sip, a very underrated character in my opinion. He's essentially our guide into the Talamasca. You know, without him, the mythology becomes much darker and harder for us to understand. And I still don't completely trust Sip, but I still like his character. Then we have Carlotta. Carlotta is fascinating. You know, she doesn't like Deidre. Is she protecting her? I think not. Maybe not. She's also causing enormous damage. She's one of the characters whose love has become a sick obsession. Yeah. What I want to do now is discuss the themes of these episodes with you, because I care about that. The first 3 episodes aren't really about witches, they're about inheritance. Can you escape the family you came from? Can you acknowledge becoming a curse? What happens when your greatest gift is also your greatest fear? Those questions matter far more than the supernatural elements. That's what makes Anne Rice's stories different. The monsters usually aren't the point, the people are. I just wanted to mention that because that seems to be a consecutive theme throughout these episodes that I've noticed. And I want to know in the comment section if you've noticed that as well. Or do you think I'm stretching some stuff out? All right, so I'm going to try something a little new for my channel, right? What I want to do now is present to you guys something that I like to call the Dark Lake Film Room, where we kind of step away from the story just a little bit and focus on the cinematic aspects of this production, because that's one thing that I really love. I went to film school, so I love cinematography, lighting, juxtapositioning, the different elements, film elements to the actual story. So I want to break that down a little bit for you guys and just share with you my thoughts. The camera seems to not trust Rowan. I noticed that. One thing I saw immediately while watching these first 3 episodes for the first time is that the camera rarely treats Rowan like she's in control, if you noticed. Whenever Rowan believes she understands what's happening, the camera begins to move, not aggressively, almost like an unseen presence is watching her. There are slow push-ins, creeping dolly shots, and subtle handheld movement that keeps the image from ever feeling completely stable. It's almost as if Lasher himself has become the camera. Instead of using obvious horror tricks, the cinematography quietly reminds us Rowan is never alone, which is fitting for her dilemma. Now, the lighting. One of my favorite things about these opening episodes is how they separate 2 completely different worlds through light. Look at Rowan's life in San Francisco. Hospitals, medical offices, apartments, everything is bright, neutral, a lot of blue, clinical. It's a world built on certainty, science, knowledge, reason. Then compare that to New Orleans. Science, logic, and reason is not a part of that world, because suddenly warm amber light dominates the frame. Candles, golden lamps, sunlight leaking through old windows, heavy shadows. The image almost feels aged. Almost like you're watching a memory instead of the present. It's visual storytelling at its best, which is what I appreciated the most about these first 3 episodes. The show is literally saying science belongs to one world, magic belongs to another. Lasher's introduction as well. I love how restrained the filmmakers are with Lasher. Most supernatural shows would introduce him with jump scares, thunder, loud music, but instead, Lasher usually enters so quietly. Sometimes he's standing perfectly still. Sometimes he's partially hidden by shadows. And we also see him in framed doorways or reflected mirrors. The cinematography never treats him like a monster, it treats him like temptation lingering in the corner somewhere. The choice completely changes how we perceive him. He's seductive before he's frightening. Which leads me to the production design, because one thing Anne Rice's adaptation almost always understands is architecture. The Mayfair house doesn't simply function as a location, it literally is another character. Every hallway feels too long, every staircase feels like it leads somewhere forbidden. The rooms seem crowded with history. Notice how many scenes are framed through doorways, windows, or even banisters. The filmmakers constantly place physical barriers between Rowan and the audience, almost as if the house refuses to reveal itself all at once, which bleeds into the color theory. Watch the colors. The show isn't particularly colorful, and that's intentional. Everything sits inside muted greens. There's deep crimson, gold, brown, a lot of black. Those colors make New Orleans feel alive, but decaying at the same time. It's beautiful as New Orleans, without ever becoming comfortable. Then, whenever Rowan enters the frame, her lighter wardrobe often separates her from everyone else around her. You notice that? She's literally the outsider, even before she realizes she belongs there or belongs anywhere. And they accomplish this with framing. One thing I couldn't stop notice is how often Rowan is framed alone, even when she's standing beside another character. The crimson isolates her. Large amounts of negative space surround her. Sometimes she occupies only 1/3 of the frame. Why is that? Because psychologically, she doesn't belong anywhere yet. The framing reinforces that isolation. She's searching for a place in a story she doesn't yet understand. And that leads me to what I hear. Here's something that doesn't get enough credit. Listen instead of watch. Listen instead of watch. The soundtrack isn't constantly trying to scare you. Instead, there are long periods where all you hear are floorboards, the wind in the background, distant insects, old house breathing, and church bells. You hear a lot of footsteps too. It creates the tension without announcing it. Silence becomes a part of the score. And again, that's classic Gothic horror. All right, here in the Dark Lake film room, I wanted to touch on something else that I noticed. Rowan versus Lasher. Something brilliant happens whenever Rowan and Lasher share the screen. Notice how Rowan is usually filmed with naturalistic lighting, soft windows, practical lamps, medical fluorescence, while Lasher, right, almost always has directional light. His face catches highlights while the rest disappears into darkness. His eyes seem brighter. His skin almost glows. Whether intentional or subconscious, the lighting tells us Rowan belongs to the physical world. Lasher belongs to the myth. Why the show feels like a dream to me. One criticism I remember hearing when these episodes first aired was that they felt slow. And when I watched them for the first time, I really think people misunderstood what the filmmakers were trying to do. This isn't horror, not exactly. It's Southern Gothic. Dream logic matters more than momentum. The camera is supposed to linger. Scenes are supposed to breathe. And dialogue is supposed to pause. Characters stare into empty rooms longer than most directors would allow. The show wants you to feel like you've wandered into someone else's family nightmare, not raced through a supernatural mystery. And so, my closing thoughts are this. If Interview with the Vampire is about passion, movement, and emotional intensity, then Mayfair Witches is almost the opposite. It's haunted by stillness, by silence, inherited trauma, architecture. Its greatest strength isn't the jump scares. It's the feeling that every room and hallway and every candle has witnessed generations of terrible secrets. And you know what? Again, that's what Gothic horror has always done best. I am having a great time watching this show, and I can't wait to complete season 2. My final thoughts about this is looking back at the time when I listened to the critics and didn't watch the show. I actually think that the episodes are much stronger than was led on. The pacing is slow, yes. And when I watch them, I actually appreciate all of that. I actually loved all of that. It's not a negative for me. I appreciate all the groundwork that the first 3 episodes laid out for us for what is actually coming. Everything from Rowan's unexplained powers to Lasher's influence, the Talamasca's surveillance, and the tangled history of the Mayfair family. It's something that's quietly setting the stage for something that feels endless. All right, those were my thoughts on Mayfair Witches season 1, episode 1, 2, and 3. I enjoyed doing it. It was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. But tell me in the comments, what did you think about the first 3 episodes? Did you rewatch them? And on your rewatch, did you actually appreciate them or like them more? Or do you still think that, you know, the series started too slowly? Let me know, please, in the comments. Because in part 2, we'll be diving into episodes 4, 5, and 6, where Rowan finally begins to understand what it truly means to be a Mayfair. And Lasher's influence becomes impossible to ignore at this point. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your boy, the author, Lake Sevens. I am having such a good time reviewing these shows for you. And I want to encourage all of you Dark Lakers out there. If you want to do something creative, whether that be writing a book, you know, making a short film, starting a YouTube channel, do not discourage yourself. Always believe that you can do it. You know, like me starting this YouTube channel, I was nervous, but I decided that this subject matter is something that I love. So I'm just going to sit in front of the camera and I'm going to talk about it and hope that I connect with a community, which is slowly happening. And I'm so appreciative of all of you. But I just want to say, if you want to do something creative, please go and do it. I have a passion for storytelling, and I admire not only the writer Anne Rice, but all of the people who are behind the production of bringing her work to the visual fruition, you know? It's something that I admire and look up to. I actually wrote my very first novella. It's a dark fantasy novella titled The VOLIKOM, Chance of Lightning and Night of Love. I always say I'm the author, Lake Sevens, but I haven't introduced to you Dark Lakers out there what I'm an author of. And that is this right here. This is a novella titled, well, hopefully you can see right here, The VOLIKOM, Chance of Lightning and Night of Love. And it is written with a lot of heart. And if you check it out, what you can expect to read is a dark fantasy about a knight who developed partial amnesia due to battle. And all he can remember is his name and a woman who he supposedly loves. So he has to retrace his steps to find her. But retracing his steps involves him fighting darkness that he can't yet comprehend. If you give me a shot and want to check out the story, the link to the Barnes & Noble for the ebook and the hard copy is in the bio of this YouTube channel. If you give me a shot and check it out, I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, it's written with a lot of heart. And I think that we all could become the next Anne Rice. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here. And please look out for part 2 of Mayfair Witches season 1, episode 4, 5, and 6. I am the author, Lake Sevens, and you were in, say it with me, a Dark Lake edit. Let's go. He got holes in different timelines, bitch. Like, he ain't playing around.
Great Scott! Great Scott!